Sting, we can report, is alive and well and living in Paris. He's formed a new group, he's made a film, he's made an LP, and when I was out there last week, he'd also become a father for the 4th time, and he was greeting people at his Parisian hotel suite by playing the electric guitar very, very loudly on a 3rd-floor balcony. He is, in short, his same old shy, retiring self, and here he is, on stage in Paris with the Sting Orchestra and a song called Consider Me Gone.
You can say that, you can say that, you can say that, you can say that. Roses have thorns and shining waters mud. Cancer lurks deep in the sweetest bud. Clouds and eclipses stain the moon and the sun, and history reeks of the wrongs we have done. After today, consider me gone. I've spent too many years at war with myself. The doctor has told me it's no good for my health to search for perfection is all very well, but to look for heaven is to live here in hell. Do-da, 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 do-da. After today, after today, after today, consider me gone, consider me gone, consider me, consider me, consider me gone, 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 gone.
Police haven't broken up. We haven't had an almighty bust-up. I mean, we fought tooth and nail for 7 years. And I can't imagine any scenario where it would actually it would be bad enough for us to break up. But on the other hand, we're not the kind of band who would want to just regurgitate the same old formula just because it's successful. I think our threshold for boredom is low. So we needed to do something different, and Stuart's done something exciting and different for him, and Andy's done work with Robert Fripp, and now I'm working with jazz players. I wanted to work with musicians who could step over the line, as it were, so that we didn't produce jazz or necessarily rock, but something else maybe.
How did you come to choose the musicians then?
Well, I had a workshop in New York. I hired a studio and some equipment, and invited the jazz community to come and play, wondering who the hell would come. And I was really surprised at the names that arrived at the door with their instruments, real big names. And it wasn't an audition, it was a working situation where we played my material and we improvised. And over the 2-week period I decided on a lineup, not only of the best players, but the people who seemed to have a rapport with each other and a rapport with me. So I got Branford Marsalis on saxophone, Darryl Jones on bass, who normally works with Miles Davis. Omar Hakim is the drummer of Weather Report. And Kenny Kirkland, the keyboard player, normally works with Wynton Marsalis, the trumpet player. Quite an illustrious lineup. And me.
And you.
British pop star from the north of England.
There's certain political statements on the LP in songs like Russians and Black Sea. What points exactly were you trying to make?
If you're going to write political songs, the issues that that you face are more critical than they've ever been before. You know, if we talk a song about nuclear power, we've never been in such danger from nuclear power stations or from the proliferation of nuclear weapons or east-west tension or starvation in Africa. It strikes me as it's pretty ridiculous to write about anything else. Isn't it?
What other projects then have you got for the next 18 months? What are your other interests do you want to
Well, I'm going to recover from this 10 days. But in August, I'm going to start a world tour. I'm going to Japan. I'm going to go all around until March '86. Then in March '86, I haven't a clue. I just don't know what I'm going to do. But that's exciting. Most people can tell you what they're going to be doing in 5 years, 10 years.
When will the world tour come to Britain?
January 20th. I said that with such conviction. It must be true.
Young man, soldiers, 1914, marching to countries they'd never seen. Virgins with rifles, a game of charade, all for our children's crusade. Pawns in the game are not victims of chance, strewn on the fields of Belgium and France. Poppies for young men, such bitter trade, all of those young lives betrayed. The children of England would never be slaves. They're trapped on the wire and dying waves. The flower of England, face down in the mud, stained in the blood of a whole generation. Corpulent generals, safe behind lines, history's lessons drowned in red wine. Poppies for young men, death's bitter trade, all of those young lives betrayed, all for our children's
Sting in Paris and Children's Crusade. Thanks for sending in these hindsight requests. I think the person who sent this in should be pleased with tonight's selection. I think it's rather a waste of some rather choice wallpaper. But my experience, if you mention to somebody that you've got some dodgy old clip of them on hindsight lined up for next week's programme, they start sweating really badly, they threaten to sue you, or else they get down on the bended knees and they literally beg you to edit out the bits that show them with flared trousers and stuff like that. But with Sting's performance in 1978, it was a technical problem, and a rather curious one, come to that.
I was doing Quadrophenia in Brighton during the day, and I had to fly up from Brighton to Manchester, and I was in the dressing room with some hairspray, wondering why it didn't work. You know, I was trying to make my hair stick up. And I was looking at the nozzle and my eyes were full of this burning stuff. So I was blinded and was whisked to the eye hospital next door to the BBC. So I came back on doing, I think it was Next to You.
Can't Stand Losing.
Can't Stand Losing You, with these ridiculous sunglasses on, which Stuart had lent me, but they were too big for me, and they kept falling off my nose, and I spent the entire song twitching like this.